Am I really that much to handle? Breaking these niggas down like a hammer. You don't really know you.
What's up, bookish babes? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna be going over all the books that I read in the month of April. I think I read a total of 9 books in this month, mostly on my Kindle, and I think I read 3 physical. I know I read 3 books that I physically have on hand. So we're gonna go ahead and dive straight into this video because y'all, I read some pretty good books this month, and just know y'all need to read them if you haven't. Now we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the first book I read this month, which is Laike by Gray Huffington. It's a part of the Eisenberg Effect. Now this book kind of rolled over from March because I read Luca and Lyric's book in March. So, and I wanted to continue this series because I wanted to start reading Ledge. And when I first picked up Luca, I read Luca and then I dived straight into Ledge, not knowing that Ledge is kind of like how can I put this? Like, it takes place in the same world as the Eisenbergs. So, and if you know me, you know I love the Eisenberg. One thing about me, I love a good sibling book series where there is y'all, how I forget my man's, what them boys' name? Because I used to always rant and rave about them. Now that I don't find me some more brothers to read about, I just find that's the one that's not showing up here. So I read 10 books. I didn't read. Why is Saint not showing up here? I read Saint. Did I read Saint this month or was it last? Oh no, that was last month. Disregard. But anyways, yeah, I read Laike, y'all. Out of all the Eisenberg brothers, I feel like I love Laike the best, mainly because that man is a true crash out. Now, mind you, he was dating this girl since they was children, and one day he decided, let's break up because I want to go out and mess with other women and live my best life doing so. And in the process, not knowing that at the time she had something to tell him as well, and they end up breaking up. She ends up bossing up, doing her own thing, becoming very wealthy, and she started dating some other man, and their relationship progressed, and Laike lost his mind. Y'all, Laike crashed out so bad behind this girl, and I'm like, you told this girl you did not want to be with her, but as soon as another man decides, oh yeah, I'm gonna wife that, you like, oh nope, never mind, I'm gonna do better, I don't want nobody else, I just want you. Like, you decide, like, that was the perfect time for you to be like, yeah, that's my girl, you can't have her. Now, come to find out, the man was trash anyway, so Laike kind of saved her from that mishap, but it's just the point. It's the point behind y'all, you know? But after I read that, I gave Laike a 3.75. After I read that, I rolled into Liam because, like I told y'all, I wanted to read Ledge after Luca, but they plays off each other. Now, Liam is more of a novella to basically weave Ledge with the Eisenberg Effect, so you can see what happened, how it happened, how everybody felt about the situation, and then you can dive straight into Ledge where you pick up where Ledge ends up, you know. Now, Ledge is an accidental pregnancy. Now, Liam being that it was like a 96 page book, I think I just gave it 3 stars because, I mean, it did answer some unanswered questions that, although I had read like 50 pages into Ledge, and I realized like, oh wait, this is actually spoiling Lyric and Laike's book. That's when I kind of read Liam. That's why I read everything else and then read Liam. But Ledge is an accidental pregnancy with this girl. Her name is Halo. She had a rough upbringing, and she ends up, I don't know what the diagnosis is called, but she basically locked herself in the house and stays away from people. Like, she doesn't come outside at all. And then one day she was like, she wanted to take her freedom back and go outside and experience the world and see, like, and she ends up meeting Ledge. I don't know why I'm finna say Ledge at a bar, and they end up hooking up, having a one night stand, and she ends up getting pregnant. Now, mind you, she went months without telling this man that she was pregnant with his child, all because she was scared of being outside and being around people. And that Ledge is another crash out. Like, I feel like all these men are so, they will crash out. First of all, Lucas, I forgot about him. Like, that man is the true definition of a crash out. Like, he's a true definition of a crash out. He went to prison for offing his sister boyfriend because he was beating her. That's really not a spoiler because you get that in like the first few pages of the book. But he ends up going to prison for offing his sister boyfriend for beating her up in the parking lot. He pulled up on it and that nigga lost his mind. Then he ends up out of jail and he ends up getting released, and then no incriminating evidence over here. We're not gonna tell on Luca, although he's not a real person, but we ain't gonna tell on Luca. Luca ain't do it. Luca ain't got nothing to do. Luca was at home. Me and Luca and his wife and their kid, we had a movie night, and it went him. It was not Luca, but that's neither here nor there. I read that last month, but yeah, I love first. Oh my god, the Eisenberg's siblings, I absolutely love them. I love them. I love their friends. I love their wife. I love their mom, their dad. Like, it's like the first book where you can the first series where I was just like, yeah, I ain't side on their parents, because any other book, I would sign out the crap. Any other brothers, sibling romances, I'd be side on their parents, but not this one. Like, they got some decent, wholesome family members. Now, after reading Ledge, I went into, what book I read at the Ledge? I decided to pick up Rina Kent book because I wanted to dive into God of Malice, which I'm actually reading for another video. I don't know what the book is. It's over there somewhere. But I wanted to go into the Rina Kent books for another video I'm reading, but I decided to start with I think it's like the Royal Elite series. I think it's like the parents of the kids in the God of Malice and God of, what is that series called? What's the series called? Let me see, because I'm reading God of Malice right now. It don't matter. Whatever that series called, I'm in the middle of reading that. And I read Cruel King, which is about Levi, I remember his name, and what the girl named Astrid. I don't know where they fit in the series at, because I haven't gotten that far into God of Malice, but I do know that. Am I tripping? I'm tripping, y'all. Mind you, I'm tripping. But I do know that I really enjoy reading Cruel King. Like, it was really good, and I've been trying not to, I don't know, like the books, y'all, I don't know. I need to buy, I think it's Divine King, Steel Princess, Twisted Crown, Twisted King. That's the part of the Royal U series, the Royal Elite series. And then I think it's one called Royal U. Like, it's a lot of books in this series based around the same couple of feminists. And I do want to continue this series. But like I said, I read Cruel King by Rina Kent. I gave that book a 3.75, y'all. It was good. I really enjoyed it. It was entertaining for the most part. And I feel like the reason why this boy in God of Malice is so unhinged, like that man is unhinged. He's unhinged. Unhinged is because he what they say, I'm walking so you can run. Yeah. Just reading the Cruel King, I haven't even dived into the rest of the Royal Elite series. Just reading book number 0. I don't know how it's number 0. Book number 0 of the Royal Elite series. I see why. I see why the man is unhinged, and I would hate to see his parent story and get his parent background of this series. I want to say, are there all these books about the King men? Like their last name is King, but I don't know. But anyways, I feel like I'm rambling on. Then I read Say You Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, y'all. I enjoyed this book so much, although it had me on edge most of the time because I was trying to see exactly how it plays out. Like, exactly, I needed to get to the end of this book to see what was going on, to see how it would end for them and how everything will play out. And I also felt like the relationship was, it was cute and fun, and I did end up crying at the end of close to the end of the book because I felt the love. I felt the love, but I also felt like majority of it was one-sided. Like, he was working himself to the bones just to be able to go see her and to visit her and to be able to spend time with her, because they end up me having a little meet cute at his vet where she found the cat and she took him to the vet to get him checked out, and comes to find out the cat needed surgery, so on, so be. He ends up asking her on a date the next time she comes in to get the cat to see about, and they end up going on this amazing, spectacular, night-long date, and she ends up moving to California the next day. After that happened, they decided, let's pursue a relationship with each other, because the first date we had was just so spectacular, and like, I feel like you might be the one for me. And at first I was like, okay, this is cute, this is sweet, but I felt like he was doing most of the sacrificing, and I understand her situation about her being at home with her mom and taking care of her mom and her being there with her family to like help ease and lighten their load. But I also feel like at some point she got like multiple times out for multiple time, because they was like, we can put mom into like family facilities and we can still check on us and we can all still have a life. Because I'm not gonna lie, dealing with people with mental or terminal illness is extremely hard. It is extremely hard, and this is me speaking from experience because I do work in that field, and y'all, it's extremely hard, and it wears on you physically and mentally and emotionally, to the point where you just like, if you have help, take that help. But y'all, it was like to the point where she got offered the option, like, hey, we can put mom into my wife into this a care home, and we can just visit her, and so that we won't feel like, well, we like, it won't take away our memories from her when she was healthy, and but she didn't want to take that opportunity. But I felt like he was just, he was working himself sick, y'all. He was working himself sick just to be there for her, to be able to see her. Like, y'all, I don't know. And I was just like, although that, like, he did what he had to do to make what he want happen, his relationship work, and I felt like she was just kind of doing bare minimum. If I'm being honest, she was doing bare minimum. But yeah, I gave the book a 4-star. I really enjoyed this book. I love everything Abby Jimenez, right, y'all? Absolutely enjoyed the crap out this book. After I read that, I picked up My Choice Is You. Now, how did this book end up in between all? I don't know, y'all. I picked up My Choice Is You by Mel Du, and y'all, I think I gave this book 3 stars as well. It's about Kavina. She is the daughter of a Major League Baseball player, and she has Down syndrome. Does she have Down syndrome? Does she have Down syndrome? Yeah, I think she has Down syndrome, and she wanted to, like, she's a high functioning individual, and she wanted to get the experience of living with people and making friends and doing all this stuff. So her dad ends up building her a house on their land, their family land, and she ends up looking for roommates. Now she ends up rooming with this guy named Jasper's sister, and that's how her and Jasper end up meeting, and it goes from there. Like I said, 3 stars. It was really good book. It was like a really good palate cleanser in between reading Say You Remember Me. But yeah. After I read that, I read Drunken Love by Taye Monae. I ended up reading one of her books because, if I'm not mistaken, I was on TikTok and I was scrolling through TikTok, and one of her books, like, she was promoting one of her books, which I thought was really good. And I hate that I cannot remember that book now. Like, I think I saved it. I think I saved it into my TikTok archives. And I'm going to go back and look, because I felt like that book sounded so good, but I wanted to get a feel for her writing before I, committed to a book, that book by her. Don't ask me why. I don't know. But this one is about this girl named um Naia. She ends up going out of town to basically clear her mind and just to have a good time before she got back to real life, and she ends up running into this playboy wild boy rapper named Kazir, who was always in a blog for some type of scandal, and they end up hooking up, y'all. They end up hooking up and so drunk out of their mind, they end up getting married, not knowing each other but for one day. He didn't even know this girl's name. He did not know her. Like, of course, she knew him because he was a rapper, but he didn't know her name. They end up getting married, and then he was very rude to her. Like, she forced him to marry her. Like, crazy. He ends up being real rude to her, so she ends up leaving a hotel, stealing some of his money, and just disappearing. And a couple months later, she found another accidental pregnancy. A couple months later, she found out that she was pregnant by this man, and he was so nasty to her. Like, he was so nasty to her. Like, at this point, but she decided to keep the baby, and it's just, I don't know. I feel like she had a past issue with her ex, who, it goes so much deep, y'all. These people's lives are so traumatic. Like, I just could not imagine. Like, my heart goes out to all of them because although it's words on a book, like it's words in a book, and it may seem like I'm just being really dramatic, but y'all, people go through this stuff in real life. Like, honest to God, real life. Like, the things that these people are writing down in books, people are actually living in real life. And it was like really sad to me just to read about what she had to go through in her childhood, and how she no longer speaks to her mom and her dad, and why she no longer speaks to them, and how they treated her, and how her dad is just being like, when Kazira tried to be nice and like reunite them as a family, her dad was really nasty about the situation. And I'm like, okay, that happened like decades ago, and you're still holding a grudge with your daughter for something that happened decades ago? Decades, not yes, decades. And I understand her. Like, if you're gonna be nasty about it, like, I would rather go my life without speaking to any of y'all anymore, because I spent a decade figuring things out, going through trials and tribulations to get where I'm at now, and I'm fine now. Like, it's no point in you coming back in my life now that my husband is, well, her husband did initiate the meetup. But y'all, I gave the book a 4-star. I really enjoyed it. Not even gonna lie. If you haven't read the Taye Monae book, read it. Then I finally decided to read the last book in the Dirty Air series, which is Redeemed. It's about Chloe and Santiago. Santiago got into a car accident and his leg had to be amputated, and Chloe ends up, I think, she ends up finding out who her real biological father was, and she ends up trying to go to his house, but ends up on Santiago land, and it's just a lot of stuff going on. I gave this book a 4-star, y'all. I really enjoyed it. I really hate that it came to an end, because I really did enjoy all the couples in this series: Throttle, Collided, and Wrecked. I really enjoy all the couples, and you do get to see all of them in this book as well, because they end up linking up a time or two. But I really enjoyed it. I'm happy I finally finished it and read it and dived into that series. After reading that, I don't know what I read, because it said Arthur's not available, but I'm pretty sure I read it because I marked it. So, as you can see, this is what I'm seeing, but I don't know what book that was, because I cannot recall what I read after reading Redeemed. It had to be some type of, let me see if it's still in my Kindle library, because I don't think I really returned stuff. So if it's not available, they probably deleted it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we don't know. So we're gonna brush past that. Then I finally finished the month off reading First Time Caller by BK Bolson. Y'all, this is my very first book by her. Although I have her other 4 books, this is my very first one. And I really enjoyed it. It's about this girl who her daughter ends up calling a romance radio station, trying to find love for her mom, because she feel like her mom, as her mom had her, she kind of stop dating, stop doing all of this, and her daughter thought she was lonely, so she felt like, I'm gonna call this radio station and I'm going to see if I can get my mom set up. And it ends up becoming a whole thing where she goes on this radio station and they're basically like a Lucy Love journey, or I don't know what the name of it was. Lucy Road to Romance, I think that's what it's called. Lucy Road to Romance. But y'all, it was really good. Like, it was really, really, really good. I got the book before it started, and I was surprised at how good it was. I think I have a reading vlog on my channel with me reading Say You'll Remember Me and First Time Caller. So if you want to check out and see what my initial thoughts on these two books were, you can go check that out. But those are all the books I read in the month of April. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.
High volume. Am I really that much?